Over the past couple of weeks, we have seen a few major shifts take place in South Africa. The ones that stand out for me are the announcement by Ace Magashule of the ANC that they are going to strengthen BEE and move forward with the expropriation of land. He also, in all his wisdom, proclaimed that the ANC had taken a resolution to deracialize our towns and cities and transform apartheid-era spatial patterns. Before I go on with any other noteworthy events, let us take a closer look at what I have just said. As if BEE and BBBEE has not had enough disastrous effects on the country as a whole, they now want to intensify it. What he was actually saying is that they are going to turn on the screws even tighter on the white minority. They are going to increase the pressure to get the whites or more whites out of the economy. They are going to put more of you out of work, and they are going to put more of you in white squatter camps. That is what he is actually telling you. There is no other interpretation for what he said. Now, as you listen to this, you might be someone who is only just keeping your head above water. You might barely be able to feed and clothe yourself and your family, never mind paying rent or a home loan. There are literally millions of you in this position. I can guarantee that a large percentage of you are going to lose your jobs, no matter how skilled you are or how loyal you are to your employers. You are going to lose your jobs and end up in poverty. Don't think that this only applies to the people at the bottom of the employment ladder. You men and women who are engineers, managers, supervisors, etc., are all in danger of losing everything you have. Are you just going to sit back and wait for the day when you do get retrenched? Are you just going to sit back and witness your own as well as your peers' demise? Even more important, are you going to keep on financing your own downfall with your taxes? Ace Magashule went further to say that they were going to deracialize and transform the apartheid spatial patterns. What do you think this means? In a nutshell, this means that they plan to move into traditionally white European towns, towns that were, without a doubt, founded and built by white Europeans, and more accurately by the Boers, or as they say in Afrikaans, the Boere. They are going to push forward into these towns and cities, removing every sign that these cities and towns were ever founded or inhabited by whites. We all know what happens to any area that they take over. It turns to shit. Excuse my language, but in fact it is now common knowledge that everything they touch turns to shit. We then have the police commissioner, who has come out with a devious plan to disarm legal firearm owners under the guise of an amnesty. Even though GOSA, that is the Gun Owners of South Africa, has a standing, valid court interdict preventing the police from confiscating firearms from people who, for whatever reason, have let their licenses expire, the police are leading people to believe that they can hand in those firearms and apply for a new license. In my opinion, and the opinion of many others in the know, these people are going to lose their firearms. They will never see them again. The amnesty has nothing to do with renewing expired licenses, and anyone who hands in a firearm that has an expired license expecting to get a new license for it is going to lose that firearm. I'd like to make an appeal to people who have firearms of which the licenses are expired. Please, whatever you do, do not hand in that firearm. I can't stress this enough. Those firearms are without a doubt going to be used against you sometime in the near future. I would bet my life that not one illegal firearm that was used in a serious crime will ever be handed in under this amnesty, especially since the amnesty rules state that owners of firearms that are found to have been used in a crime will be prosecuted. How many murderers, armed robbers, cash-in-transit robbers, hijackers, etc. are going to hand in their firearms knowing that they are going to be prosecuted? None. Not one. Now I would like to discuss the two most concerning recent events, namely the spread of the novel coronavirus and the extremely underhanded and dishonest about turn the ANC has taken on the proposed expropriation bill. As many of you know, the outbreak in China of the novel coronavirus is claiming lives at an alarming rate and is spreading fast. I've seen videos of people just collapsing in shopping centers and dying. I'm also sure that the figures we are given via the mainstream media are not even the tip of the iceberg. Conditions in China are way more serious than we think. This in itself is not really a problem for any other country, but there have been a few people who are carrying the virus who have managed to get out of China and have entered other countries. I've heard of confirmed cases in the USA, Australia, as well as in Israel. If it has made its way to Israel, it has made its way onto the African continent. With the state of affairs throughout Africa as they are right now, I'm sure the virus will infect thousands before we will ever hear about it. That means it is going to spread like wildfire throughout Africa. It is only a matter of time before we start to see cases of it here in South Africa. We need to take precautions against becoming infected with a matter of urgency. I'm going to be doing a video on just this soon, and we'll hopefully have a doctor come on and give us some advice on preventative measures we can take. Now for the most urgent and most important topic of this video today, the proposed expropriation bill. As most of you should know by now, the ANC has tabled a proposed amendment to the Constitution, specifically Section 25, which pertains to private ownership of property. They drew up this bill, they pushed it through Parliament and gazetted it late last year. Then they asked the public to comment on it. They gave us, the public, until the 31st of January to comment on it. Well, the 31st is now only days away, and what does the ANC go and do? They come out and object to their own bill and want to change it now. So let us look at the changes they want to make so quickly and why. In the original draft bill, the one they gazetted, it stated that the courts will have the ultimate authority to make the decision as to whether the legal owners of the property was to be given reasonable compensation for their property or whether they should be given nothing. What the ANC now wants to change is this. They want to do away with the courts making that decision, and they want to give the executive the sole power and discretion to make that decision. The executive being our friend Cyril Lichtbek Ramaphosa and a few of his hand-picked cronies. I don't know if you realize what is being done here, so I'll spell it out for you. The ANC has openly admitted that the legal court process has the potential to be dragged out for ages, and they want to avoid that. They want to be able to grab anyone's property with a stroke of a pen, and there will be no recourse for the owner. None whatsoever. People, this is exactly what happened in Zimbabwe. Robert Mugabe was able to take a decision, sign a piece of paper, and suddenly your property did not belong to you any longer, and you had absolutely no legal recourse. Now I would like to point out how devious the ANC is in doing this way. When asked why they wanted to change the draft bill now, they were quite honest in admitting that they wanted total power and authority to make these decisions because the legal court process would simply take too long. They did this on purpose, knowing that there would be too much resistance to the bill if they had tried to push it through Parliament in the form that they now want to change it to. They also admitted that they only pushed the bill through in its current form in order to avoid too much backlash from the public, and so that it would go through Parliament as quickly as possible without, and I quote, derailing the process, they stated. Do you realize what this means to you and I? Let me put it simply. The new bill, as they want to change it to, will give a few selected cadres the right and authority to take away anything they like from you. Yes, that's right. The bill does not specify land or anything else. It simply says property. Property is defined as anything you own. That could be your land, your house, your car, your savings, your pension fund, or anything else that you can think of. They will be able to lay claim to it with a stroke of a pen, and you will have absolutely no recourse, none whatsoever. My friends, this is your last chance to make a stand against this blatant dishonesty and deception. I urge you, every single one of you, to go to dearsouthafrica.co.za and have your say. Now I know that many of you are going to say that our votes or petitions won't change anything, and I agree with you. The ANC is going to do whatever they want. But without any record of our votes against what is happening, we cannot say that we did voice our opinions. We cannot say that we did our part. I know the ANC is going to push this new bill through as quietly as possible, but we need to have our objections on record, for the record. Now, having said that, I'm going to make a statement that some might not agree with, but I'm going to say it anyway. At some point, there has to be that proverbial line in the sand. At some point, we have to put our foot down. At some point, we have to stand up and say, this is it. Now you have gone too far. It is my opinion that if the whites allow a single expropriation to take place, we might as well pack our bags and head for greener pastures somewhere else. Earlier in 2019, Mr. Groenewald of the Freedom Front Plus stood up in Parliament and said to the ANC, if they want war, try and take our land. He might not have used those exact words, but that is what he was implying in context. I say we should follow through on that and refuse to let any land be expropriated, and to quote another very colourful politician, by any means necessary. This to me is where the tire meets the road, where we stop talking and actually put our money where our mouths are. This has to be that proverbial line in the sand, and if we don't defend it, there will be nothing left to defend. This brings up another subject, secession. In my opinion, there is only one route we can follow to get away from this parasite, and that is to secede from them. We absolutely have to separate ourselves from them before they suck the last bit of life out of us. I urge you to support any secession movement of your choice. It does not matter which one, as long as you support one of them. It is our only hope. I would also like you to go to the website voteforselfdetermination.com. That website was put up by the ULA, but the votes there are not specific to the ULA at all. They are all people who would like to secede from South Africa, and I would imagine that they could be used as proof or a mandate by any of the secession groups. The important thing is for all of us, every last one of us, to go to the website and vote. Your very survival depends on it, quite literally. I'd like to know what your thoughts on this are, so please make them known in the comment section. A quick announcement, there has apparently been a belief among some of my subscribers that my channel is an official channel of the Boere Legioen as well as an official channel of the USAF movement. This is not the case. My channel is and has always been a private, independent channel, not affiliated to any particular organization or movement. I am, however, a member of USAF and therefore endorse what they are doing by giving people a place where they can be safer and where they can be among their own, right now. This, I feel, is very important. However, let it be known that I will and do support any organization whose aim it is for us to secede from the mess we call South Africa. I support all of them. At the end of the day, it makes no difference to me which one of them succeeds in seceding, as long as we do secede. I hope that takes care of any confusion in that regard. Please like and share this video on as many social media platforms as possible. It's the only way my message gets out there. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, do it now by clicking on the big red subscribe button below and to the right of this video. While you are there, click on the bell icon to receive notifications every time I upload new content. If you would like to support my channel and my work, in the description field I have supplied ways for both local as well as international viewers to make a contribution. If you would like to make a crypto contribution, I have also supplied a Bitcoin as well as a Litecoin wallet address. If you would like to contribute any other cryptos, you can email me on the address also provided in the description field, and I will be happy to supply the relevant wallet address. To all those awesome people out there who do support me, I say a huge thank you. You have no idea how much I appreciate your contributions. Be safe out there. Until next time.